In the Lab, a Texans podcast that takes a different look at things. Drew Dougherty and John Harris have their lab coats and goggles on, and the Bunsen burners burning. Here's Drew.
From the multi-million-dollar recording studios here at HoustonTexans.com and Texans Radio, this is Drew Dougherty. That's John Harris. And you are listening to and watching, if you have that opportunity, In the Lab. John, how are you, buddy?
Well, I'm good. Just trying to get things done and finish up 2020 on a strong note. And obviously, we got to finish up In the Lab in 2020 on a strong note. And so that's what we're doing. So, yeah, I mean, you can look around my spacious car if you'd like.
No.
It's not really. It's a car. But what are you going to do?
Yeah. You bring up a good point. Let's finish strong. I think there's a section of the public out there that thinks everyone who works for the Houston Texans is just fine and dandy with losing, doesn't really give a crap, is going to just take your money and that's it. When that's not the case, we're pissed off at what's happened.
Yep.
We want Super Bowl titles every single year and all that stuff, but it hasn't happened this year. So things will change no matter what in 2020. We're going to see that for sure. But in front of us, and in 2021, technically, there's one more football game to play. And I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm not saying it's likely to happen. But oh, how delicious it would be if the Texans could hand these guys a loss. Now, we're shooting this or taping this on a Tuesday morning. By all accounts, it sounds like Deshaun Watson's going to play. And I wrote a little something about this the other day. But in the two games that Deshaun Watson has played against the Titans in the stadium, in NRG Stadium, the Texans have scored a combined 91 points. They've beaten the Titans by double digits both times. He's thrown 6 touchdowns, been picked off once. He ran for a score also in each of those games, and he completed, I think, about 70% of his passes. I can't remember exactly, but he's lit these guys up. Now, those were different teams on both sides in each of those instances, 17 and 18. You remember he didn't play last year in 19. But we've said it every game this year, and I hate sounding like a broken record, but anytime he's out there, you've got a chance to win. And he damn near beat him in Nashville the last time these two teams played, but it didn't go his way. When he left the field in Nashville, his team was up, but Tennessee got the ball at the end of regulation and then won the coin toss in overtime, and they scored a touchdown. So I'm just saying this. It'd be really sweet. I mean, any win is sweet, but it'd be really sweet to beat these guys, just because of everything that's going on in the history, dating all the way back to the mid-'90s, and all the stuff that we've seen recently. So anyways, John, what do you think about that?
I'm with you. And look, I know Mark hates the Colts with a passion, probably more than I do.
Yeah.
I didn't get in the building in 2014. Look, I don't care for the Colts all that much. And I'm bringing up the Colts because a win for us, the Colts are going to win. A win for the Colts and a loss for the Titans puts the Titans into like a wild card roulette sort of situation. And the Colts need us. And I've known Chris Ballard, GM for the Colts, for a long time. And I don't mind seeing good dudes win. And I think that's what he is. I think Frank Reich is a good dude. Couldn't always say that about the people in Indianapolis, but can say that now. I still want to beat them. We just botched both of our opportunities to do that. But I would much rather see the Indianapolis Colts win this thing, and they can win it with some help. Now, they're not going to lose to Jacksonville Jaguars. I can promise you that. Here's what I find interesting about this whole year, Drew. I was looking at this last night watching Monday Night Football. They popped up the AFC playoff picture. The Chiefs are 14-1. The Bills are now 12-3. The Steelers are 12-3. The Titans are 10-5. The Colts are 10-5. The Dolphins are 10-5. The Ravens are 10-5. And I think I maybe missed one. I think there are 5 teams right now, 10-5. Even if you went to 8 teams in the playoffs, you weren't getting there at 9-7. You weren't getting there at 9-7. And that's the interesting aspect of this, that it could happen that the Tennessee Titans and the Colts both make it. It could happen that just one of them makes it. It could happen that Tennessee goes in with the lead, and because they've got the tiebreaker right now, apparently, that Tennessee could be the one in the catbird seat on Sunday. We upset them, and then the Colts win, and the Colts go. Now the Titans could still get a wild card depending on what happens. You got a big ball game with the Steelers and Browns, and the Browns really messed up their opportunity last week. But it really gets kind of interesting, Drew, because we talked about all offseason. Okay, 7 teams, man, 9-7 definitely gets in with 7 teams. Not even that. I mean, I even thought maybe 8-8, maybe. But, man, not in the AFC this year. The AFC has been unbelievably hard. And here's the other one, Drew. Mark texted me this the other day, and I thought, there's a lot of things that have to happen. And when you have to say if too many times, things don't go well. But he said, had you scored from the 2-yard line against Indianapolis twice, you go for 2, maybe you win both of those games. You win in Tennessee if Jeffrey Simmons doesn't get his right hand on a pass to Brandon Cooks, a wide open Brandon Cooks, okay? And then you take one of either Cincinnati, Cleveland, take one of those. Now, I know that's a lot. But if you took those 4 in games that you all had an opportunity to win, you took those 4, you'd be playing Sunday for the division title.
Yeah, because you would have taken from them. Everything would have been bunched back up. They wouldn't have been so far ahead. Yeah.
Right. And then you would have the tiebreaker.
Candy nuts, we'd all have
exactly.
Christmas.
And that's the point, Drew. And that's the point. You still look up, and at the end of the day, you're either 5-11 or 4-12. And that's the separator. Mark and I we used to hear Bill O'Brien, it's 8-8 league. Now, it's not really that. It's a 1-score league.
Yeah.
How do you get that additional score? And that's, I think, the one thing that has failed this team throughout this year. And if you remember against Tennessee, I think it was the only time that the Texans won the turnover battle was in that game against Tennessee, and should have won the game. Should have won that game by 9 points, but they couldn't make that 2-point conversion work, and that was a killer. So they can't get turnovers, and that's got to change. But in a 1-score league, which we have now determined it is, how do you get that 1 score? And Deshaun Watson, to your point, has been the guy to get that 1 score. But now it's got to be a collective effort of special teams getting a turnover, defense getting turnovers. Here, Deshaun, here's the ball back. You don't have to work so hard. Here's the ball at the 15-yard line. Those are the things that haven't happened this year, and those are the things that have got to change in 2021. I think Deshaun gets better and better every single year from here on out. I think there will be more pieces surrounding Deshaun. But the other pieces that have got to surround him going forward have got to be able to help him and say, look, man, you're not having your greatest day. You're not having a great day. Maybe through an interception early, whatever the case might be. We got you. We just put the ball on the 10-yard line. Or like in Detroit, we scored a season-high 41 points. We got a J.J. Watt pick 6. We got 2 fumble recoveries that led to points.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't gotten that this year at all. Deshaun needs some help from that perspective.
By the way, you bring up that game. My son Robert, the 7-year-old, was watching that game on replay yesterday. So
yeah,
I just walked in the door, and I was J.J. Watt got a pick 6 as I walked in. I was like, that's nice. We could go for that.
That's nice.
One small point of contention. I agree with almost everything you just said. But when I handed it over to you, when you started things, you said, I think something along the lines of, it would be nice to help the Colts out, or it'd be nice. I'd love to see them lose. I wish perfect world, both these teams would lose this weekend and neither would get in the playoffs. I don't want to help either of them. But first and foremost,
I know, but somebody's got to win the AFC South.
Huh?
Yeah, somebody's got to win the AFC South, and I'd rather it not be the Titans. So the default option is the Colts. So yeah. I'll make myself clear. I would much rather both of them stub their toe, walk in the stadium, and lose 41-2.
Yeah.
But I just don't think the Jaguars are going to be able to pull that off with Jake Minshew, Glennon, whoever they've got at quarterback. This amalgamation of some guy that's 6'8" and a guy that's 6 foot and runs around the building. But the Jags aren't beating the Colts, not on that day. I mean, now they've clinched the number 1 overall spot. But you're right. I used the wrong phrasing. I don't think it would be nice for the Colts to win.
I know what you mean.
But if I got to pick the way that I want to go, I'll pick the Colts.
You pretty much said that. I was nitpicking at you, but it's now clear. Neither of us want either of these teams to do anything.
No.
I hope it's done for both of them. So,
yes.
So suck on that, Titans fans and Colts fans.
Yes.
We're petty. I'm petty, at least. And
me too.
I don't want you to do well. I don't want any success or happiness for you. So there.
I want Vrabel at home watching all these playoff games.
I do like Mike. I love
want.
Mike Vrabel. I do like the Vrabels, so it pains me to say
they can still watch the playoff games. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, it's nothing against Vrabel because I'm a huge fan of his, and he's a hell of a coach. You know, I think the world of him. But yeah, that's tough. All right. Well, listen, this is the last in the lab of the blasted 2020 calendar year. Get lost, 2020. You can screw right. Go wherever. Yeah. I mean, the only thing's good about 2020 for the Texans was the end of the Buffalo Bills game in the playoffs and the first 15 minutes in Kansas City. And that's going to haunt me forever. That first quarter will haunt me forever.
Oh,
well, not the first quarter, but the final three.
I get you. 2021 can't get here fast enough, bro. I'm with you.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to know when we post new content.